Backpacking doesn't have to break the bank. Most people think that you need to spend thousands of dollars on gear in order to hit the trail. I'm here to prove to you today that that's not true. Everything in this backpack right here today costs just over $300, weighs under 15 pounds, and can take you out on your first adventure out into the hills. Hey guys, I'm Ricky, and this is your Trail Buddy. And today I want to show you how you can start backpacking without draining your wallet. This setup right here is simple, lightweight, and beginner friendly. The majority of the gear that's in this backpack came directly off of Amazon. It's stuff that I've either bought for myself many years ago, or it's stuff that I bought for my boys when they were first starting to learn to backpack. I'll even link all the different gear down in the description below if you want to check any of it out. A lot of the things that you're going to see in this backpack that I'm going to show you are things that you probably already have if you do any camping already. My goal today is not to sell you anything. It's to show you that you can start exploring the outdoors without having to spend a whole lot of money. Everything here that you see in this pack right now weighs less than 15 pounds without food, water, and fuel. So you can use this backpack and go out and have a great time out in the wilderness. So let's just go through everything that I have here. So let's start off with hitting some of the pockets. So we'll start off with the top pocket here. This is where I like to put all of the gear that you want to be able to get to quickly. So here I have a buff. As you guys know, if you watched any of my material, you'll know that this is one of those things that I think should be in every single backpack that you go. It can just do so many things when you're out in the backcountry. And then I have a little made-at-home first aid kit. This is one of my Ultralight first aid kits. Maybe one of these days I'll do a video and show you guys what's all in it. But all you really need for a good first aid kit for short trips and stuff is just some of the simple things that you have at home. If you got any kind of first aid kit at home, you can take out some of those things that, you know, some Band-Aids, some ibuprofen, and just get the basics that you need and put it in a Ziploc bag or something in the beginning. But I'll show you eventually how to kind of make one of these yourself too as well, because you don't really need to buy one of those from the store. Some form of water filter. I like to keep this quick and easily accessible too for out on the trail. And then a headlamp. You can get a cheap, easy headlamp when you first start off. This is one, like I said, from Amazon that you can kind of start off with there. But I like to have it quick and easy too, so that when you get to camp and you need to be able to see, you can go from there. Let's see what other pockets we have here. Got a front pocket here. Oh, here I have a little bit of toilet paper, some hand sanitizer, and then a little trowel in order to be able to take care of the business when you're out on the trail. But just something simple. You want to keep it where it's quick and easy to get to too, because you don't want to have to go digging through your backpack when you're ready to go do your business when you're out on the trail. And then I guess I should also start when we're talking about kind of the basics here is the backpack itself. This is just a cheap backpack that I got off of Amazon. That doesn't weigh too much. I think it's a couple pounds. I'll put the weights and some of the prices up on the screen as we kind of talk through some of this gear so that you can see some of that as we're going through. But this is not a bad backpack for a beginner as you go through. I mean, there's all kinds of things out there now on Amazon where you could get all kinds of backpacks that are good beginner friendlies. You don't have to have the most expensive or the most ultralight stuff to begin with when you're working through stuff and you're just getting started. Let's see. Normally I would have here, I don't have it right now, but I would just have a couple smart water bottles in the pockets here on the sides. You don't need anything fancy. I found that the smart water bottles are lighter than Nalgene's, and so they're just really easy and simple to carry. But you could just have a couple water bottles there to be able to carry the water that you need. Let's see. Here on the outside as we're walking around here, you can see I've got just a basic, simple foam pad. This one here is bought at Walmart. It was the pad that my boys always started out on. It's simple, it's cheap. It just gets you a little layer between the ground, the rocks, or anything below you. So it's something that you can always start out with if you're just getting started. If you want to spend a little extra money, you can always get like one of the foam pads that you can get on Amazon as well for Nemo. It's a little pricier than say a basic foam pad, but those are kind of nice too, and they're a little lightweight too as well. Or you can I've even got a climate static V air pad here. Like you can find some cheap air pads on Amazon too, as you will, if you would like to have a little bit more of a pad system than say a foam roller. All right, well, let's dig into the back. Oh wait, we got one more pocket here on this side. Let's kind of go into this one and see what did I have in here. Oh, I don't guess I put. Oh, I did have. I've got a long spoon here. This is great for whenever you're doing your backpacking meals or other things when you're out there, is to have something that you can kind of get down in there without getting your hands too dirty for that. So you can pick one of these up. You can either get a titanium one off of Amazon for pretty decently priced, or you can even get a cheap one at Walmart as well. All right, I think we've kind of hit most of our pockets. Oh, well, we got our front pockets here. Let's see what we got in here. Here we've got some trail snacks, and it looks like some trash from the last time my boys used this backpack. So let's take some of that out while we're going through this. But this is a good place for in the beginning here to keep your trail food. Let's see what we got on the other one. Oh, here we've got a little thing of bug spray, so you can have that quick and accessible to you, and then a little pocket knife. I don't carry anything fancy. You know, you can get a Gerber or some of those kind of multi-tools too if you want to. But to me, most of the time out there, all you really ever need is a little blade, and so I just carry something very simple and kind of lightweight for a pocket knife out there. All right, now I think we've got through all the pockets, so let's go into the actual pack itself and see what we have. All right, I always like to pack my backpack with the things that I want to have the quickest access to from the top. A lot of the backpacks, even like this one, do have some zipper pouches on the bottom where you can get to the bottom stuff, or even some of them will zip out here where you can get into it from this way. I just always pack it all the way in and pull it out from the top. So the top thing that I always have first here is some form of rain jacket, rain pants, whatever you want here. In this particular bag here, I have a rain jacket, a pair of rain pants, and then I also put in my extra pair of socks and an extra pair of underwear in here. And then next, I've got a little cook system. You don't need to have anything fancy when you're first starting out and getting out and doing things. This really here is just a small little fuel canister here. You've got a little small stove here. You can get these off of Amazon easily to be able to get you started here. And then just a small cup. And this just gives you a small cup to start with. You don't have to have anything fancy. They've got a bunch of titanium cups and other things that you can get, but you can also get some cheap things right off of Amazon. So just easily, little small cook system there to get you going. This is just kind of an accessory pack that I have. I just took a bag that I had laying around and I just use it to toss other things in. So here I've got some of my first aid stuff. I've got some bandage here if I need to be able to, if I twist an ankle or something and I need to be able to wrap myself up, I've got that in there. A little bitty thing of toothpaste. I got a little bitty toothbrush in here. As you guys know, I've got long hair. So, you know, for me, I like having a comb out on the trail. I've got a couple little pins in here for if I need to repair something on the way. I've got a little bitty, this is a little bitty throw bag that I have that's just got a little bit of cord in it that if I need to throw a bear hang or something for there. I've got my emergency compass, some paper, a pencil, notes, some chapstick, just a couple of little minor things in here. But all of this, none of this really weighs a whole lot. It's just all little bitty things here that I have that gives me some of that luxury of being able to make sure that I'm prepared and have what I need when I'm out there. All right. Here is my little food bag that I normally would use. Right now there's nothing in there, but I would normally fill up my food that I would have for any of my meals in this. And then I can also use this if I need to. If I'm in bear country, I can clip it across and then tie it to a bear hang and then get it up into a tree. See, here's one of my little air pillows. This is just kind of a cheap pillow that I have here off of Amazon. Just is something to kind of get your head off the ground. I've got a lot of opinions about pillows and stuff that you see in some of my other stuff. But you can either do this, or if you want to ditch the pillow to save a little bit of weight, you can also use a stuff stack and stuff some clothes into a stuff stack and use that as a pillow as well. And then here I've got a tent. This is just a, small tent that I got off of Amazon. It's a one-person backpacking tent. Doesn't weigh much. I want to say I think this was about 4 pounds. I'll put it on the screen for you and the price, but it's a cheap tent that I got off of Amazon. Is it as nice as some of my other backpacking gear that I have and that I've obtained and gotten over the years? No. But it worked really well for a beginner tent, and it worked well for me at times where I wanted to just quickly go out before I got one of my nicer tents. And it's also worked for my boys a lot when they were first starting out to backpack. So it's worked for me, and it's lasted a little while on what I've had. But like I've mentioned, there's all kinds of things that you can find out there to kind of get you started on a little bit of weight. And then here at the bottom, I've got a sleeping bag here. This is just a basic level sleeping bag that I got off of Amazon. This was one of the ones, it does really well for the summer. It's not super ultra lightweight, but it'll do well at keeping you warm during a good summer trip to be able to get out there. You can even this is particularly the compression bag that came with it. As you can see, it actually probably could be compressed to even a smaller footprint if you got yourself a different compression bag to buy for it. But this particular one only goes to so small. But I believe that's it. Let's see. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything else in here. No, there is. For this particular backpack, and you'll see this for a lot of backpacks that you get online, it does have its own little rain cover. So you could take this out, put it over there if you're, dealing with rain and weather and stuff for that. But you can also too, a good tip that I've given people over years is, don't worry too much about trying to rainproof a backpack a lot of times or that kind of stuff. Because you can do is, I don't have it here, but you can simply just take a trash bag and stick a trash bag in there and then stick all your gear inside the trash bag and then tie it up at the top. And that'll help keep all of your gear dry throughout your whole trip. But that's it, guys. Not a whole lot. And like I said, we didn't really spend a whole lot of money here for any of this stuff. If you're just getting started out, don't feel overwhelmed. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of gear out there, and there's a lot of money that can be spent in backpacking to be able to get yourself going on that. But you don't need all that fancy gear to get going. This is a simple setup that could easily get you out and get you exploring the outdoors and starting to really gain that love for being out in the backcountry and being out in places that not everybody else goes. So if you love being outside and you love camping, don't be afraid to get started. And I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell me in the comments below, what was the first item that you bought when you first started backpacking? For those of you that have been into it and gotten going now. And for those of you that are just starting and you're just thinking about getting into it, where are you thinking about going? I'd love to know what trip you're thinking about that's got you interested in wanting to get out and do it. Because I promise you, once you start this, man, you get a love for being out in the outdoors and getting out there, further out there, and being out in the wild of where Mother Nature and everything is just so beautiful out there. And a lot of times you have the whole place to yourself, and it's just so peaceful, and it really helps reset us from the crazy busyness of the world that we're in on these day and age. So don't be afraid to get started. As I've proven here, anybody can get started in backpacking without having to spend a fortune as you're going through. So if you found this helpful, don't forget to do all the things. Like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff, because I've got all kinds of videos that teach you ways to lighten up your gear or how to just get outdoors and enjoy yourself. So join Moose and I as we go outdoors and just have fun.